Hello, my name is Clinton. I was diagnosed with ADHD 12 years ago. ADHD is attention deficit hyperdisorder. Now it affects the area of your brain that would control normal functions such as concentrating.
It's hard to form your own personality when you feel as though you're sort of being taken for a ride rather than being in control of the car.
It kind of hinders like everyday life, but I also see it as kind of like a superpower as well. So like, sometimes if I'm really hyper focused on something, it can make me do a lot of work in a short period of time.
I am on medication and I think it's helped quite a lot in dealing with ADHD.
ADHD has affected me in general, caused a lot of issues just in education because I couldn't concentrate or I had a bad memory. Things just sort of went in one ear and out the other when I didn't want it to. And sometimes my emotions can really get the better of me and I can act out.
I'm not formally diagnosed with ADHD, but I've been to my GP and multiple psychiatrists and they've told me I do have it, but they're not allowed to officially diagnose me because I have to go through a whole process. So I've been on the waiting list for 6 years.
You know you have these things, but in order to get certain support, like an educational support plan, you have to get diagnosed for that, or certain benefits, you have to have that diagnosis. But if people are waiting 6 to 7 years, they're not going to get that help. They're not going to get that support that could greatly affect their life in a positive way and reduce stress.
In my working life, I'd say back when I was a supervisor, it affected me quite a lot in terms of my memory and struggling to remember the process of, for example, closing down the store. Bringing to light all of the symptoms of ADHD and making me realise why I struggled in a lot of different ways growing up, and with that job in particular.
ADHD has affected my work life by affecting how I am, like how I react with other people. So if maybe I get like a customer who's not very respectful, like I'll tend to react. Or if I can't get something right and I get shouted at, it upsets me, or I feel overwhelmed because I'm getting all this information fed to me. And even to the point where sometimes my medication wears off and I'm very hyper and it can cause everyone else to not like me.
ADHD's affected me a lot during education, specifically during primary school and secondary school. It was mainly during primary school that no one knew and I didn't know, so I wasn't able to actually ask what I needed and I wasn't able to communicate what was actually happening to me. So I was told off a lot because I didn't get a lot of deadlines in, or I'd forget a lot of things, but it was all related to ADHD. And the same thing happened in secondary school, but now that I'm in college I've been able to communicate it because I found out what was happening and I've been able to get the accommodations I need.
I was undiagnosed until about 2 years ago. In terms of how ADHD has affected my education, I feel like I got tarnished with a brush. Like I was just automatically the naughty kid because I couldn't sit still or I couldn't focus on something, and with my autism as well, because I struggled with regulating my emotions with ADHD and autism, I was seen as the problem child. So like teachers would roll their eyes if I was having a meltdown or a panic attack.
In my adult life, I'd say it's affected getting to a position where I feel confident in myself and comfortable in myself and who I am. I think if I could click a button and get rid of it, I probably wouldn't, because I think it sort of fashioned who I am today.
I would never get rid of my ADHD or my autism because it makes me think differently and it gives me an outlook on the world that I don't think many people have, and we need more open-minded people, and I class myself as quite open-minded. So
If I could get it all away, I would, within an instant, just because it's something that has definitely hindered me a lot in my life and made it so I'm not able to do the things that I want to do. And it's something I don't like living with, but I doubt anyone likes living with it.
If I could click a button to take my ADHD away from me, I wouldn't. It's a part of me and I don't think I'd be myself.